Hi everyone. In today's video, we're going to be creating a digital university using a combination of Softr, Airtable, Gavel, and more. So the first thing you need to do is sign into your Softr account and go over to your studio. We're going to create a new application, blank application, connect later, and then you can have these pages, but I usually like to start things from the ground up because I want to see where things are, how it was set up, how it was made. But that's just my style. So go ahead and name your application. In my case, I already have one created. So in this case, I'm just going to say blank application so that I can go pop over to the other one. So let me do that now. And then I already created this one. So I'm going to work off of this one. You can work off of yours. And then the next thing you want to do is, after you've given it a name, is go over here to settings. And then we're going to just make sure that the subdomain is a custom one. So yours will have an automatically generated one, such as like Phil-1234 or Julie/1357 or whatever else. So you want to make sure that that is your unique one for your university. So pick a name for your university. Let's have it be your subdomain. So that way, what happens is once it's published, so go ahead and save that. And when you publish it, then it will be your domain name for your university. So don't worry about, you don't have to be precious about publishing it right now because nobody is coming here yet. So feel free to publish it now. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to just conceptualize how a university might set something up, or a digital online, sort of educational institution where you're sharing your knowledge with other people might look, and how you might need to set that up. So the first thing we'll do is work on our homepage. So right now it looks like this, which you can see that there's two headers here, but only one here. And that's because we have different visibility permissions. So this one is for non-logged in users, and this one is for logged in users. So in our case for now, we're just going to delete one, and let's delete both of them and we'll create a new header from scratch. So let's say add block and then go to static, and we're going to have our header up here. I usually like this one, but you can see the different options. So we have a header with sublinks and buttons. We have a header with links and buttons. We have one with a hamburger menu, one with sublinks, icons, and a description. We have a header with the user profile, and then we have header with categories. So you can choose which one you like the best. I think in my case, I'll use a header with sublinks and a button. And then you can update your image. So if you have a logo, you can add that here. I'm going to upload an asset and have it be, let's see, I'm going to have it be, okay, so I've chosen this one. So I have just a small one. And if you want it to be bigger or smaller, you can increase the size or you can decrease the size. It's up to you how you'd like it to look. So let's say I want mine to be about this big, but it looks like it's quite close to the top. So I'm going to go to styles and add some padding on the top. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of padding. That looks pretty good. Now, the other thing you'll notice is my color scheme and the font styles don't really match the logo. So let's go ahead and go to settings and go to theme. And we're going to set the default styles and colors for all of your blocks. You can manually change each of them element and block by block, but if you want everything to change at once, then you can do it this way. So let's look to see if they have anything close to circular standard. Let's see. So they don't have this particular one, but I'm going to use one that's similar, which is Montserrat. And then let's see, we also have the ability to change if we want it to be semi-bold or more bold. We can change the body font as well to whatever we like. I think that looks pretty good. And maybe I'll make that normal. and then we can change the button colors and roundness and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to play with this a little bit and find the colors that I want. So I have chosen to have here, we have 16 pixels, Montserrat bold, heading color is black. And then I have normal weight for my body font. Body color is this sort of black color. Roundness of the buttons is, let's say, large is fine. Text color of the buttons is going to be white. And then the background color is going to be this ultraviolet purple. And then fixed width for website width. And let's go ahead and save that. So now we have a slightly different look. Now we have more of a similar font style and we have more colors that match and so on. So what we're going to do next, and by the way, if you notice this one didn't change, but if you actually just delete this one and add it again, then it's going to do it in the new color style. Sorry, so the hero, if you choose this one, let's say if you wanted to have a video, you could do that, or this image if you wanted to do that one, then it's going to have it in the color format that you chose in your theme. So the next thing we're going to want to do is add a footer. So let's go ahead and say add block and then go over to static and come down to footer. Then you can choose which one you like. Here we have footer with links and we have footer with link groups and description. We have footer with link groups, description, and secondary footer. And then we have a footer with link groups and secondary footer. So it's up to you which one you'd like. I think in my case, I'm going to go with this one. And then we can update the logo here at the bottom if we'd like, or we can take it off. I think in my case, I'm just going to take it off. And then if you want to have whatever other things you want here at the bottom, if you want about, help, blog, policy, terms, contact, and etc., then you can kind of fill these in later. And then you can put in your particular company name and then all rights reserved. So what we'll do next is we can add or take off or change out these social links, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so on. So it's up to you. If you wanted to add a social link, let's say you wanted it to be LinkedIn, you can just add that like this and then put in your URL for your LinkedIn. So we won't fill everything out right now. We're just going to create the framework of this and let's publish this and just view what it looks like. So right now we have our university, we have a hero, we have sections, and we have a footer and all of this. Because I have a paid plan, I can go into my general settings and actually toggle off this made with Softr branding. But if you have a free plan, you'll have to keep it on. So now when we publish this update, we'll be able to see the made with Softr badge go away. So this one here, that will go away now. So we won't see it there. And we can see we have a website. It doesn't do anything yet, but we have one. So that's pretty good. So now we can start filling things out and making it more of a usable website. So the first thing what we would want to do is figure out what this page should say and what we're trying to communicate. Let's start from the top and we'll work our way down. So if we go up here to the header, then we'll think about what sections we want to have. If you want to add some alt text to your logo image, for example, if you want to be able to make it to where a screen reader can have something to say, you can say your university name or describe your logo in some way. So the first thing, since this is a university, we might want to have something like courses or something like that. Or I think we'll just call it programs. And then I want to add that there is a fellowship. And then we could say fellowships. And then I want to have another one that says independent study. So let's go ahead and put that here. So we don't have anything linked up yet, but we can as we move along. But for now, we have programs, fellowships, and independent study. We can have an FAQ section if we want to, but I think for here, let's have next students or like student life or something like that. Students, and then let's have faculty. So we can have something like this. Let's go ahead and see what this would look like. So if we come over here, we have programs and we have fellowships, independent study, and then we have students and then we have faculty. Now, actually, as I look at this, I might want to change this header to something else. So let me do that really quickly. We're going to come over here. I'm just going to have a different header option where I kind of like these ones that have little, um, there's like more of a description with them, like this one or this one. So the difference being that they have like different columns. I kind of like this one actually. So let's update this to see if we like this better. Let's change this to be a little bit bigger. And then let's make it to where we match up what we said before. And we had a program section, and then we had a fellowships, and then one which is called Law Students in Legal Tech, Access to Justice, fellowship, and then we can put a little description. I'm going to say curated 12-week certification course where fellows build real world legal tech apps and you can say something like hackathon competition at the end with cash prizes, guaranteed positions, paid positions, and so we can kind of see what it looks like. We can change our icon. We can pick from the library or upload one. So this one is maybe something around like student, or you can even just say person, maybe, or that looks fine. Let's just see what that looks like. Let's publish this and see, you'll see which one it looks like. So now we have two headers, and I want this on purpose so I can see the difference between the two. So this is what we would see if we have the one that I just made. And then this is what we would see if I did the first one that we made. So I kind of like this new one where it's a little bit more nuanced and has more descriptions and details. I can see that I wrote too much, so I need to make it a little bit shorter, but that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the one that I don't like as much. And then let's keep the one that we do like, which is this one, and then increase the padding on the top a little bit here. So I think that looks fine. And then under this header features, let's go ahead and put, so we have this fellowship, and then we have this other section we can have, which can be students or something like that. And then you can see what you want under here. And then I'm going to say probably like current, and then just say like, you know, student, or um, let's say like, I think we should have one that's like perspective. So let's do that one first. So let's do prospective, and then we'll do another one that's called current, and then we'll have a third one. And actually, as we look at this, we can see that this is going under program. So maybe we want to split this out a little bit differently. So what we could do instead is take this off of here, have the fellowships be under programs heading, but actually move and change this to sort of like students. and then this last one as like faculty. That way this makes a little bit more sense. And then under students, we can add a sublink or category. So I think what I'll do here is under programs, I'll have fellowships, and then I'll add a category called independent study. And then I'll say something like free courses or something like that. And then maybe the other one can be like learning center as another link. So we can just have a couple of different ideas here. So I'm going to play with this a little bit. I'll show you that you can also change the icon color here. So if you come over here to icon color, or you just go to this little filtering like thing, then you can just come change the color here. So if you notice that some of these are a little bit different from each other as far as like sizing of text and sort of this styling here, then what you can do is you can see that you can change the category styles like this, where you can have the text be a little bit smaller. You can have the text color be different. You can have the font family be the default, which goes to your theme that you chose. The font weight is here medium, and then the later spacing is normal, but you can change these as well. So if I go over to my other ones, I can also change these. So after playing with that a little bit, I can see that I can change this to be smaller like this, or if we wanted it to be bigger, we can do that as well. So I've gone through and I've just updated a couple of things here so that the icons are all the right colors. I have changed these to match the same kind of style of each other. And I'm just going to do one more change, which is to bold these top ones. So you can do that in sublink styles, and you just, I chose semi-bold. So if we go here to this free courses one, for example, and I say sublink styles, I can change it from normal to semi-bold. And then same thing for this other learning center one, sublink styles from normal to semi-bold. So right now, let's go ahead and publish these updates. And right now it looks like this, and now it will look like this. I'm just going to go through and update these subheaders now. So now I have it to where under programs, we have some nice purple icons here. I have two sections, fellowships. Under programs, I have fellowships and independent study. I have the Law Students in Legal Tech Access to Justice Fellowship, a free 12-week course and hackathon competition. And then I have under independent study, free courses, courses on Gavel, tech, app building, and more. And then I have the Learning Center, deep dives and how-tos on specific topics of interest. So now we'll link these to certain things. The first, we'll just do two, and then we'll do the other one as we build it out. So on this one, we have for fellowships, if we actually go to Gavel and we go to resources, announcements, and the Law Students in Legal Tech Access to Justice Fellowship, then we can pull this URL here, and then under fellowships and this particular one, we can say add action, and then we can say open external URL, and then paste that and say open a new tab, publish. And then when we come over here and we refresh this now, when someone clicks on this, they'll be taken to the fellowship where they can apply for the program down here. So what we'll do next is we'll link the Learning Center. So if we go over here and we come down to our independent study, and now we have Learning Center here, we can add this action. So if we go back to here, we can say Learning Center and grab this link here, and I'll say add action, open external URL, drop that here and say open in new tab, publish. So now we'll have it to where when they say programs and they go to this one, they'll be taken to this one. And if they go to programs and they choose Learning Center, they'll be taken to the Learning Center. We don't have the free courses yet because we need to create that, but we'll do that in a moment. But for now, let's work on the students section. So if we go back to the header and we go over to students now, we can say perspective. Then we can say add a sublink and we can have this one be current. And then under this one, we can add a sublink and we can say, well, I think we can just say, let's say current in perspective because it's supposed to be like a university that's always going on and not necessarily that you graduate from it and move away from it. But we could say, we could say alumni just so that when people complete certain courses or whatever, they can be on here as well. So let's add a sublink that's alumni. And then I'm just going to go in and add in some descriptions and change the icons as we've done before. So I'm just changing some of the styles right now. So right now we have fellowships and independent study where we have the Access to Justice Fellowship, free courses, and a learning center. And then under students, I have perspective, current, and alumni. And then under faculty, I have the dean, but I'm just going to update this to match this style really quick. Next, I'm going to update what this button says. So right now, let me just double check everything looks good. So we're going to change what this button says. And obviously, like the only things that work right now from a button perspective is this one and this one. And then this one doesn't do anything. And these three don't do anything. And this one doesn't do anything yet, but they will in time. Next, what we're going to do is change this button text and we're going to decide whether or not we want to have user profiles. I think in our case, first, let's decide. I think we do want to have user profiles so that students are able to actually create accounts on here and become users of this particular website and that they would be able to interact with the content here. So I'm going to keep this in the header. And right now it doesn't do much, but it will later. I'm just going to change the color of the icon really quick. So you do that in the same way that we did for the other ones here, and then now it's purple. For the button, we could say something like apply now or whatever you want them to do. So we can say apply now, or you can change that to just apply, whatever you would like. I'm just going to change it to the font weight was at normal. So I just changed that to semi-bold and then we can change the button style more here if we'd like to make it more round or more square. In my case, I'm going to make it just a tiny bit more squared. And then I'd only want it to say apply. And then for these other three, I want the font to be bold. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we'll do that by the link here, link styles, and then go to semi-bold. So now you can see that's changed here. Then I'm going to do the same thing for our students here, semi-bold. And then same thing here for faculty. And then I'll make that semi-bold. And publish this. So let's see what that looks like now. I think that looks a little bit better at the top here. So overall, I think it's looking pretty good. So let's move on to this hero section now. So we go back to our studio, we can change what this says. And let me just double check something, which is I love this one that has like a typewriter. So let me just see if that's a different block. So let's say add block. I would believe it would just be one of the different header types. Yeah, this one, Hero with button and typewriter. I like this one better, so I'm actually going to, this one has email capture and typewriter. I think let's change this one out. So let's delete this one, and then I'm going to add the hero that has this email capture and typewriter. So that way we can have it to where it says something. So we can say something like, learn about, and then we can say learn about, we could say legal, or you could just say just tech, access to justice. You could say no code. So we could say learn about no code. I kind of like it with a period at the end. Legal tech, no code, legal tech, access to justice, something like that. Would be fine. And then we can change the speed. And then we can also change the colors. And then what it says here at the bottom, I think there's too much text here. So let's see what it looks like with a little bit cleaner. So we can say learn about no code, learn about legal tech, learn about access to justice. Something like that looks pretty good. I kind of like them as finishing the sentence. So I'm going to make them all lowercase here. And then let's go ahead and change this color and have that change to that purple color that we like. So now it says learn more about no code tools, about legal tech, and let's publish this. We can make it also to where this header is fixed, by the way. So we can say fixed header so that it always shows. And then if we wanted to add a border, we could like that, and then change the color. And we can have it to where there's a little bit of border, or sorry, padding. So let's see if we want to add some padding on the bottom here. Maybe both of them can be just a tiny bit less. So let's see what that looks like. So now we have it to where it looks a little bit more like this, which looks pretty cool, I think. And then maybe we can change that at the bottom. And then maybe we want this to be bold. So let's make that bold, this typewriter. So let's say semi-bold. Let's see how that looks. That looks good. Let's see if we want to change anything else here. Let's go back into here and change what we're saying here at the bottom. And we can change the speed side, like the delete speed and the type speed, to be more or less. I think it's fine the way it is. So I'm going to say become you could say something like hone your skills and build your tech empire using no code tools like Gavel, something like that. And then we can say your email, and then under here we can say just for the email capture, we can say something like get the newsletter, something like that. For the image here, we can update this and we can use some stock photos, or they also have illustrations here that you can use. So you can change these out and you can change the colors. So if we want to change the colors, we can make a custom color. So I've used this 8256F6. And then let's see, I like this one. That one's cool. Publish this one. So these are free illustrations that you're allowed to use. So that one looks pretty good. You could also change the spacing here if you don't want there to be so much padding between these two. So let me just see. Padding top, padding bottom. Let's go to this other one. Let's put an alt text here actually. So let's do illustration of woman like building with puzzle pieces. And then you can change the position of this to be on the other side. You can have it to be like this. You can have it to be like this. You can have it to be like this. I think actually I might like this one the best. So let's see what that looks like. I kind of like this one. So we can say, learn about legal tech, hone your skills, and build your tech empire using no-code tools like Gavel. Get the newsletter. And obviously, like this isn't hooked up yet, but you can get the overall feel of this first. And then I just made these extra bold and then increased the font size a little bit. So just wanted to see how that looks. Let's move next down actually to the footer and let's get that one set up. So if we want to change this up a little bit, we can. So let's make it to where we have, let's see, we want, actually, let's go to this section next. So on this section, let's go to here and let's change the title and the subtitle, or we can take them off if we don't want them there, like this, to keep it nice and clean. And we can change the styles to have less padding on the top, for example, and then it's more spaced nicely. So maybe we'll do it like this. And we can put more or less on the bottom. And then here for the features, we can change out the images, the illustrations can be, like we said, a custom color. And in our case, we have a particular hex code we like. So I've just changed some of these illustrations to have it to where when they come to the website, we have Gavel University programs, fellowships, independent study, where we have free courses in the Learning Center, students' perspective, current and alumni, faculty, meet the dean, and then we can apply. We also have this section here where they can say, learn about access to justice, no-code tools, hone your skills and build your tech empire using no-code tools like Gavel, get the newsletter, and then we have a section where it says, we have these different images. So I'm just going to change these to actually track up here a little bit more, where it's like programs, students, and faculty. So if we go back to the studio here, we can have this first feature be, let's say this one is going to be programs. The second one will be students. And the third one will be faculty. Cool. And then we'll say for this part underneath, we can say, let's say fellowships and independent study. And then in the second one, we can say become a student or meet our current students and grads. I think for this first one, we can say something like checkout or something like that. Or like join fellowships, or like explore fellowships and independent study opportunities. Something like that. Then they could say learn more. And then the third one, we can say meet our dean and instructor and faculty or something like that. And program instructors, directors, something like that. The last thing we want to do here on the bottom is to change all of the colors. You can say learn more or go to. I'm going to say go to, maybe in caps, like that. And then we can change this style to have the color be purple. Same thing on this second one. I'm going to change that to say go to in caps. And then have that be purple. And then we can have this third one be in all caps that says go to. and then have that be purple as well. Cool. So on the bottom here, I'm just going to change each of these links to also be purple. And then let's see if there's anything else on the bottom here you want to change. Maybe this copyright. I can either change this color to purple or leave it. And then, so I've just added a couple of different social links here at the bottom, as well as changed some of the colors. So now we have these different options here. And obviously later I'll change this, but I just need to get permission first. And then we have about, help, blog, policy, terms, and contact. So we can link all of this stuff later, but for now, this is starting to look like a real website. We might have one more section under here, which is something like join our Slack community. So let me do that with a call to action. I think let's do, I kind of like the clean one here. So let's go to static, call to action, and then I just like a clean call to action like this in the middle. And then we can update what that looks like. So let's say join the community. Let's make the text bigger. Maybe not so big. Maybe, and then we'll make the other ones smaller. So the subtitle can be smaller. Maybe like this. And then we can make it to where it says, maybe in this case, we have the title be purple and the subtitle be black. So we can keep a consistent coloring scheme here. And then for this one, maybe just a tiny bit bigger. And then maybe make it extra bold. That looks pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, that looks fine. Might need a little bit more spacing between these, but for now it looks pretty good. Join the community, and then we can say something like in the subtitle here, we can say meet like-minded people, or you can say something like connect with your people, with like-minded people, and lifetime learners in our Slack community, or Slack dedicated Slack community. Something like that. And then you can say join now. And then we can make this a different color, or sorry, a different bolding, maybe like semi-bold. And let's see how that looks. Pretty nice. So I quickly just want to change this favicon up here, as well as the title of this part here, and then what shows in the homepage when somebody shares it on social, for example. So here we can do the first thing by going to settings, and then we're going to change the favicon here. So let me go here to Dropbox, and then I'm going to just grab the new logo. So let's see, favicons. And perhaps we'll just use this one. Then open. Might be, not sure about the quality, but let's just double check. So now we have the Gavel logo or favicon up here at the top. And then if we want to change what this says, we can go to the page settings. And then we can make sure this general looks fine. SEO, we can change what this says. So we can say Gavel University. And then we can say something like hone your skills and build your tech empire. using no code tools like Gavel. You can say the same thing for your socials and then have this part come here as well. Gavel University. And then the visibility is fine for all users. If you wanted to add any custom code, you could. In our case, we're fine with what we've changed. Let's go ahead and publish that. And now we should say Gavel University. And then when we share this on socials, we should be able to, oh, actually, I was going to just say we need to add an image. So if we go back to our page settings and we go to social, we need to add a social media image. So we can do that here. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that here. So if we go back here, go to settings, we go to social, we can upload an image. I just made this one, so we can open that one. Now we can see it here. Now if we save that and publish our updates and refresh, when we want to share this to someone on socials or on WhatsApp or anything, we should be able to see the new image that we uploaded. Let's use the example of WhatsApp. So if I type in this part here, it will eventually show an image like, let's look at an example like this, where you have, this is a link still, but it's linking off to your website, but has an image attached to it. So that usually takes a little bit to catch up. So we will wait for that and then move on. So for now, I think we're going to get to this point, which is we have the framework of what we want, and we just need to link everything together. And as I said, this is obviously an initiative I'm working on, but still need to get approval for. But this is something that would be how I would go about building something that would be a website like this, and how you could get it to kind of match in style and color and have this sort of nice aesthetic overview. Change your subdomain to have a custom one and use Softr for that. And so in the future, I'll go over how to link everything together and how to have this integrate with your Gavel builds, as well as things like Airtable as your data source and more.